Oh, hi. What's up? Hey. Um, Hi everyone. So this is another live stream on What a Ghoul Wants. I'm sure you probably know that if you're here, but I just want to say hi to everyone who's in the chat already. I don't know if Shaheem is still here, but they were at a dinner party for the night, which sounds really nice. So Shaheem gave us their top 10, and I see some really good ones on here, Shaheem, wishing us a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you. Right back at ya. And then the Cord Knight says, I am not at a dinner party unless my cats decide to throw one, which sounds utterly delightful. A dinner party thrown by cats, although you'd probably end up eating cat food or I don't know, something even worse than cat food. And William's here. Salute to the chat. Yes, hello. And there's Mika. Hey, Mika and Nathan. What is up, guys? Welcome. Okay, so if you're here, you probably already know, but I'll just go ahead and talk about what we're talking about tonight, and that is our top 10 horror movies of 2022, which I know we're still in progress. 2022 is not over yet, but I just wanted to kind of count down our favorites so far. I don't really know how much more we're getting in the next 2 months before the end of the year, but there is one that I would like to talk about a little bit later. I think we can probably talk about new stuff after we go over our top 10. So put a pin in that. But Gavin is here. What's up? Hey, Gavin. So good to see ya. Okay. So yeah, if you want to participate with your top 10, feel free. If you'd rather just kind of chime in when we're talking about certain movies, that's cool too. I think we're probably gonna do spoiler free. So when we're talking about the movies, we'll try to remain spoiler free just because they are new and maybe not everyone has seen all of them. So yeah, I totally agree, Mika. It has been a really stellar year for both new horror and additions to existing franchises. It's kind of interesting because I was looking at my list and I'm pretty sure it's 50-50. 5 titles are new horror. So completely new ideas, not based on anything. And then the other 5 are part of existing franchises or additions to existing franchises. So I thought that was pretty cool. And Gavin's going to try to do this off the top of his head. And Gavin, I already know what your number 1 is going to be, so I will not forget that. But oh, hey, Brandon, how's it going? It's been a while since I caught a stream. How you been? Pretty good. Not doing as much content as I would have liked in the past couple months. So I just haven't been doing live streams as often or posting, which is I'm sad about because I kind of miss it. But yeah, I'm going to try to pick back up on it, hopefully for the rest of the year. We'll see. I know it gets really busy around the holidays, so it could be hard. But yeah, thanks for joining. And William says the villain in Thor 4 was terrifying. I know it wasn't a horror movie. Oh, okay. I am so behind on Marvel stuff. I can't even tell you. The last one I watched was probably, oh gosh, I don't even remember. I think I watched the Black Widow one a couple months ago, but I'm totally out of order and everything like that. So, hey, hello, Augustine Garcia. Oh my gosh, sorry, I can't talk. Garcia, how are you? And Gavin says, well, I'm going to look up the movies on my computer. Yeah. Yeah, just do that cursory glance at the letterbox. That's what I definitely did to help build my list. I was going through and kind of seeing what I've rated stuff and, looking at all the movies from 2022. There are some that I was a little murky on. I was like, okay, this is listed as 2021, but it either maybe didn't come out until 2022 or wasn't like available streaming until 2022. The Black Phone is one of those where I was like, wait, did that come out this year or last year? So the only ones I included were ones that were billed as 2022 movies. But of course, whatever, if you want to put movies on your list, I don't care. It doesn't matter if it says, 2021. But Dee's in the house. Hey, Dee. What is up? Yeah, Gavin. But some people don't know what it would be, so it could still be a surprise. Mika says, I think I can narrow down to top 10 very hard. Yeah, like you said, there's been a lot of good stuff out this year. Hello, Linton Jonas. How's it going? Hope you're having a good day. Big up from the UK. Oh, hey, what's up? It's pretty late there, isn't it? It's like, what, 5-hour difference or something? So thanks for joining. Don't even think I like 10 movies from this year, if I'm being honest. Yeah. It's interesting because there were some that I included on my list that I will say, like, I didn't necessarily love them the first time I saw them. But I just felt like I should include them, and we'll talk about it when we get to it. But yeah, so I think we're probably going to get started with our list here soon. Hey, Cinema Guillotine. So far, I'm not sure if I've seen a full 10 out of the 2022 films. Yeah, the past like 2 days, I watched at least 3, maybe more, because I was like, I gotta finally watch these. So yeah, I was putting it off because I keep waiting for things to come to like streaming services that I already pay for, and so I was like, I just have to bite the bullet and like pay for a month of Paramount Plus so I can watch Orphan First Kill and Smile. So that's what I ended up doing. But yeah, so there are some that are really fresh in my mind because I just watched them. But there is at least one that I just watched that is on my top 10. So I don't know. I don't think I have very much recency bias on this list, but and Gavin says, before we get started, can I just say my least favorite is Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Absolutely booty cheeks. That's what I have not seen, and I totally forgot. I put on my list the ones that I have not seen yet because I just wanted to kind of make a note of like my list could absolutely change before the end of the year. I've heard really bad things about that one though, so I'm gonna add it, but I'm sure it's not gonna make my like top 10 of the year when the year is over. But I'm gonna go ahead and put it on just because I should probably watch it, I guess. But yeah, I've heard really bad things about it. Okay, that's on there. So yeah, so the ones I haven't seen yet, the big ones anyway. I know there are a few I'm sure that I'll be missing, but Men, I never saw Men. Watcher, which has been on my list for a while, and it's on Shudder, and I have Shudder, so I don't know why I haven't seen that one yet. Jeepers Creepers Reborn, and then my best friend's Exorcism, which I wasn't sure if I wanted to read the book first, so I've just kind of been putting that off. But of course, I've heard it's not as good as the book, so that's one I might wait on because I would probably like to read the book. So we'll see. But okay, so Nathan hasn't seen Barbarian or Smile. Okay, yeah. So just reiterating again, no spoilers in the comments for any movies. Just kind of keep it to what you liked about it, what it did well, but keep specific plot points out of it. But and Nathan's saying that Gavin actually liked Reborn, so I don't know. Dee's asking how will the stream work? Will we all list ours? Yeah, so I think what we'll do is probably just as we go. So I'll name my number 10, then everybody names their number 10, 9, 8, etc. So we'll just kind of go one at a time down the list up to number 1. So from the bottom to the top. But yeah, Mika, I will too. I think I need to still see a couple more, especially ones that haven't been out yet, obviously. But yeah, we'll talk about the ones that are coming out in the rest of November and December after, after we go through our lists. So, and the Gordon Knight says he keeps forgetting to watch Men. It looks crazy. Yeah, that's one that's definitely been. I feel like a lot of the movies that have come out this year have been really polarizing, and there are people that either love them or hate them. And that's one that I definitely feel like falls into that category of people are either like, oh, it was amazing, or they're like, oh my God, I hated it. So, Chauncey's saying that Terrifier 2 is needlessly long. Yeah, I think Gavin is gonna throw some hands over that. But yeah, I think that that's a valid criticism of that movie for sure. Yeah, 2.5 hours is quite a long time for a movie like that. But It is on my list. I will say that, and it's pretty high, which I was a little bit surprised on. But yeah, oh, I would love to buy Terrifier 2 on Blu-ray as well, Nathan. I need the first one too, so I need both of them. But I've also never seen the is it All Hallows Eve? What he was originally shown in, Art the Clown. I haven't seen any of those, so those are definitely on my list too. And Mika's saying, okay, read the book before watching My Best Friend's Exorcism. Yeah, that's kind of what I've heard. And I haven't read any of Grady Hendrix. That's the author, right? I haven't read any of his books. So I just really need to be better about reading in general. I'll do this thing where I'll like read a couple of books in a row, and then I'll take like several months off from reading anything. So I just get like up and down, up and down. But anyway, I think we can probably start our list. And Kevin's saying number 10, maybe something you absolutely hated. Okay. Yeah, that's valid too. Like, even if it's something you didn't like, but it clocks in at number 10, then obviously feel free to add that and talk about it. And ooh, Steelbook. Ooh, okay. Nice. That's something I definitely need to get, some Steelbooks. Oh, Cinema18 asks, are you including miniseries or strictly films? Thinking specifically of stuff like Devil in Ohio. Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to add miniseries or TV shows. I'm sure some people would probably have the Chucky TV series on their list. That's one that I still have not delved into yet, but definitely feel free. Yeah, include whatever kind of film media you would like. Black Phone is listed as 2021. Yes, Gavin, that's what I was saying. I think there was something weird about the releases for that. Yeah, if you want to include anything like that, feel free. If it's something that you that maybe came out last year, but it wasn't available till streaming this year, like totally. Because I was running into that too, and I was like, wait, was that 2021 or 2022? So, and Nathan hasn't seen the All Hallows Eve either yet. My feeling is they're probably going to be slightly underwhelming, just because I feel like they've kind of grown to really get a feel for the character of Art the Clown and like who he is. So I just have a feeling that in the earlier stuff, maybe he's not as fleshed out. I mean, he's not like a super deep character, but I could just see it being a little bit like, oh, okay, he's doing some crazy stuff, but in Terrifier 2, he gets really wild. So D Slugs is not going to be on my list, unfortunately. No. Yeah, this is just going to be films that were released in 2022, so not ones that I've watched this year. I guess I should have specified that, but yeah, films released in 2022. And Nathan's hoping to pick up, or hoping Walmart has, Steelbook. Yeah. Nice. Mika had the Blu-ray for the original Terrifier in stock on Amazon and Best Buy. Oh, okay. Cool. Well, okay, we can go ahead and get started. And I'm going to start with one honorable, well, maybe two honorable mentions. But the first one is actually a short film. And these are something that I don't watch enough of. I really don't delve into horror short films at all. And I don't know why, because they're so short. I mean, anywhere from, only half an hour to like a couple minutes. So this is one that was directed by, I'm sure a lot of you know in the chat, Kylie of Haunted Hippie on YouTube. I believe it was for her film degree, she made a short film, and it's called Somnum, and that's SOMNUM is how it's spelled. But it's like, I think it's like 6 minutes long. And it's a horror short, and it's kind of about like sleep paralysis slash sleep or night terrors. So if you haven't seen that, I highly recommend going and watching that. It's on YouTube, Somnum. And yeah, like I said, it's only like 6 minutes long. Super well done. The production value is really high for like a first time directorial debut. Kylie did an amazing job. So please go watch that. I'll type it in the chat so people kind of know what to look for. Because it's, yeah, some num for short. Okay, just so you guys can kind of see. Yeah, so that is my honorable mention. Okay, I love seeing people's number 10s. So I'll just go ahead and say my number 10, I was really split between two films. And the first of which was Hellraiser, the requel. I don't even know what you would call it, but yeah, so that one I was kind of surprised by how much I liked it. I didn't love it by any means, but the way they went with the story, I was like, okay, I'm okay with this direction that it's taking. This is coming from someone who has only seen the first Hellraiser film and has never read the books. So I was not having high expectations for this film at all. And, you know, it's kind of like a classic metaphor for addiction, which I do think has been done a lot in horror. Not to say that it's still not an absolutely like relevant storyline to take, but I thought that the effects were pretty good. I really liked what they did with the lament configuration and how it moved in all these different ways and the different forms it would take. I thought was cool to see that. Again, I don't know if we've seen that in other Hellraiser movies because I've only seen the first one. But yeah, that one was kind of tied with Sissy, I don't know if it was a Shudder original, but it basically centers on this influencer Instagram personality coming to terms with seeing an old friend and trying to keep up her image while everything is kind of like falling apart. Yeah, I thought that was cool the way that they went about like depicting her mental state and then kind of slowly spinning out and kind of losing it. So I'm trying to do this without saying spoilers, but yeah, so I guess I have two number 10s because I really had a hard time picking. So Hellraiser 2022 and Sissy are my number 10. So we're gonna go through, and Mika says number 10 is She Will because of great imagery. That's awesome. That's one I haven't seen, and that is I'm typing on my list right now for things I still need to watch. She Will. Because that's the woman from, I believe, the witch in Gretel and Hansel is in that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mika, but yeah, that's one that has been on my watch list too. So Nathan's saying Halloween Ends, very nice. Sorry, I'm kind of going backwards in the comments. D is working on their list now. Might be a few behind. No worries, all D. Take your time. Oh, okay. So Gavin actually does like all 10 of your picks. And number 10 is Prey. Very nice. That one's a great one. And yeah, Mika, Kylie Short was really good. I was just so blown away by how good it looked. I was like, oh my gosh, the effects and the lighting and the cinematography was excellent. So Jason agrees. Yes. So again, that I wrote that in the comments for people who want to see it spelled out if you want to look that up. But Brandon's number 10 is Smile. That is one that I literally just watched yesterday, Brandon. Very nice. And Gordon Knight only has top 3. Didn't see much stuff this year. Still stuck in the 70s. Yeah. Gordon Knight, I just watched, speaking of 70s movies, I just watched Fascination for the first time, the Jean Rollin film. Let me know if you've seen that and if you like it, because I was really impressed by it. I just really like his filmmaking style and his imagery is so cool. So and anyone else, if you want to chime in about that movie, because I was kind of blown away. And Augustine's is Orphan First Kill. Awesome. That one was a big surprise for me. I did really like the first Orphan. And so I was a little worried about what they were going to do with the prequel, but we'll talk about it a little later because it is on my list too. So great choice. Mika says, I really enjoyed what they did with Hellraiser. Like the director didn't do a remake. Good story. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing is I feel like the universe of Hellraiser and the Cenobites is so rich that doing a straight up remake of the first one would just feel kind of redundant and unnecessary, especially since it is a really good movie. So the fact that they went totally new characters, totally new storyline, I was all on board with. And Nathan agrees too. Yeah. Oh, hey, John Delicious, what's up? Not missing much. We're just going over our top 10, starting with number 10. So we're still on number 10 of our favorite movies, horror movies of 2022. So horror movies that were released this year. And Hank says, does the new Predator count as horror movie or a sci-fi movie? I think it's both, Hank. I think it's kind of like the original where you could fit it into both genres. So definitely think it's horror sci-fi for sure. And we'll talk about that one later too. Okay, Gordon Knight says 10 is Morbius. I think that would count too. I know Shaheem had the Multiverse of Madness listed, and I think that's could be considered. That's not one I've seen, but I've just heard that it could be considered like a horror Marvel movie, like the most horror that Marvel gets. But I do think Morbius could actually absolutely fit in that category too. Yeah, Hank Nathan agrees for sure. Okay, yes, thank you, Mika. So the woman who starred in Gretel and Hansel as a witch. And she was in Sleepwalkers. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'll definitely watch. She will, I promise. And Dana says Smile was a bit unoriginal, but still well-made horror film. I would definitely have to agree. I personally felt like there were a lot of things where I was like, okay, we've definitely seen this before. Not to say that you can't redo ideas and make them your own, but it felt a little bit redundant to me personally, but still very well made. And I thought the acting was really good. But yeah, it was just kind of the conventions. I was like, oh man, I feel like I've seen this movie 1,000 times, but that's just me. And Gavin says number 2 has changed now. I've actually given it some thought. I love that it's going to be a surprise even to you, Gavin, by the time it gets to number 1, or number 2 at least, since your number 1 is set in stone. But John Delicious number 10 is The Fall. Weirdly, a new comfort movie. Okay. That's one I haven't seen. And that's one that I feel like would have been really good to see in theaters just because of the scope and the scale of everything and like the great heights. But it's probably one that I will eventually watch. Ooh, yes, Gordon. I look for Fascination. It's I watched it on the Criterion channel, but I want to say you can probably watch it on Kino Cult for free. Just because they put out a lot of genre-love films. So I'd have to double check and make sure that one's actually on there. I know that there are a couple on there. But yeah, I really liked it. And Cinema Guillotine says, it's one of your favorites. Nice. Living Dead Girl and Two Orphan Vampires are my favorite Roland films, but Fascination is a close third. So I haven't seen Living Dead Girl yet, but that's one that I've heard really, really good things about. And I really loved Two Orphan Vampires was the first Roland film I actually saw. So I'm really, really excited to watch Living Dead Girl, and that's one that is on Criterion as well. So I will be watching that one really soon, and I'm hopefully, I think Kino Lorber, I'm hoping they're going to have a Black Friday sale of their DVDs and Blu-rays, and I'll hopefully buy some Roland films on there because I just really like him a lot. So, but yeah, that's awesome. And Dee says, I watched way more horror movies this year than I thought. 20, nice. Very nice, Dee. See, that's one that I never ended up watching. Oh, sorry, I just kicked the camera. And that's like I said, I'm really bad about watching horror shorts, and that was a short film, I believe on Shudder that was on my list, and I still haven't seen it. So hopefully that's what I'll watch soon. But that's an awesome number 10D. And Gavin says Cinnabite just looks so fake and made me angry. Am I an asshole? The answer is yes. I will say, Gavin, I do agree. They looked more almost like plasticky than fleshy, because I know the big thing about the Cinnabites is they're supposed to be like body modification and everything. And in the original, it looks like, it's like real flesh and real piercings and everything. But in the new one, it kind of was really sleek, and the skin tones are a little more, I don't know, like pastel-y, so they just kind of looked a little fake. And that's probably why they weren't reading as like real as the original, if that makes sense. So yeah, I do have to agree with you there, but I thought that they were kind of cute. I don't know. I might be weird for thinking that, but and always hefty price for the DVD. Oh, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but and Hank says, was there new Annabelle Conjuring Universe movies this year? I think it was last year, Hank. I want to say The Conjuring 3. Oh yeah. Thank you, Nathan. Yeah, that was last year. But I'm sure they're in the works for a new one soon, probably. They'll probably release one next year. And John Delicious says doing top 10 lists is one of my favorite things to do every year. So interesting seeing everyone else's too. Yeah. And again, like I said, obviously 2022 is not over yet, but it's cool just kind of checking in and seeing where everyone's at now. And then you can kind of see with the new movies coming out, if your list changes at all with like the new releases. Like I said, I don't think we're getting a ton more new releases, but it will be very interesting to see, because I think there is one that might definitely bump some off my top 10 after I watch it. But Philosopher King, hello. Had an interesting experience watching Smile. Saw it late in an empty theater. Oh, made it way scarier. Yeah, being alone. I definitely feel like that would have made it scarier for sure. Like just not having anyone around you to kind of like take comfort in. Yeah, that does sound scary. And Hank says, stay up to watch Doctor Strange. Need a horror expert to talk about that. Oh, yeah. That's one maybe I will jump ahead in the Marvel universe, skip the ones I haven't seen just to get to that one, because I have heard that I would probably like it. But yeah, Jason, I do have to agree. It's very reminiscent of both of those movies for sure. Especially It Follows in like the very, I don't know if it was the first scene, but where the main character is like learning about this thing that's happening and this other character is describing it. I was like, oh my God, that sounds exactly like It Follows. But and he says top 10 this year is hard, could easily do top 15. There are a few bad movies I saw in the 20 I watched though. Yeah. You can, hey, if you want to do top 15D, that's totally cool. I'd love to hear. And John just saw 42 horror movies this year. Wow. Dang, that's a lot. Were there that many? That's wild. Philosopher King's number 10. Crimes of the Future. See, that's one I totally forgot about. And that is one I will add to my list of ones I still need to watch. And oh, that reminds me. Speaking of like famous horror filmmakers, I never saw Dark Glasses, which was that released this year, or was it just put on Shudder this year? I'll have to look that up and see. Or I'm sure someone in the chat knows what year was Dark Glasses actually released, the Argento film. But yeah, Crimes of the Future I'm putting on here. And I guess I'll just go ahead and add Dark Glasses for now. Either way, I should probably watch it. But and Nathan says they got 2 coming. Oh, 2, really? Oh, Conjuring 5, really? Oh, wait, hold on. 4 or 5, Nathan. And then the Nun 2. Okay. Philosopher King agrees with, was it Gavin was talking earlier about Jeepers Creepers Reborn? Yeah, I've heard really bad. Oh, I'm sorry, Nathan. I should have looked a little further in the chat. Yes, 4. Dang, okay. That doesn't surprise me that they're just popping them out still. And New Insidious, yeah, the one that I think is Insidious 5, right? Which is going to be directed by Patrick Wilson, which will be very, very interesting. I'm very interested to see his directorial debut. So, yeah, Nathan, I'm very interested to see. Yep, same Mika. And that's one too. That's a franchise, The Conjuring, that I need to catch up on for sure. Really behind. I've only seen probably half of the movies in the franchise, maybe less than half. So yeah. Oh no, Nathan thought the third Conjuring was garbage. It wasn't my favorite, I'll say that. And Dee's got to watch Dark Glasses too. Not sure when it was actually made. Yes. Oh, and Nathan says 2022. Okay, cool. Thank you. Good to know. Gavin says it was a letdown. Oh no. Yeah, and that's the thing, Gavin. I haven't really seen anything post 80s Argento. So I've heard that some of his later stuff just kind of takes a departure from the stylistic stuff of his earlier work. So, which is obviously a huge part of what people love about Argento is his style. So that's unfortunate. But oh yeah. And Gavin says yes, you can definitely add episodes for sure. Cabinet of Curiosities, because that would make shit spicy. And that's another thing I haven't really delved into at all. Yeah, so okay, that was number 10. So to recap, mine was a tie between Hellraiser and Sissy. So number 9, and I just will say for my the way I ranked these movies was kind of mostly on like how much I enjoyed them and my thoughts of how rewatchable they would be. So there are some that maybe I've ranked on like Letterboxd where they're ranked higher star wise, but for me personally, maybe I found other ones a little bit more enjoyable and rewatchable. So for example, my number 9 is Scream, Scream 5, whatever, which I did give 4 stars. But there are some on this list that are higher that I ranked lower in stars. So yeah, Scream's coming in at number 9 for me. I thought it was fun. There were definitely parts that I either kind of had issue with or was kind of like, okay, this isn't like the best, but it was still really fun to see Nev and Courtney and David all back. And I really did like a lot of the new cast that we got to. I thought that it was a nice tribute to Wes Craven. And I am excited to see what they do with Scream 6. So it was fun. I saw it in the theaters by myself, but I still had a good time with it. So yeah, my number 9 is Scream. And oh, Gavin is saying, if you want to watch a comically bad Argento movie, his Dracula movie, is that Dracula 2000? Is that the one? Because yeah, I've heard that one's really bad. Nathan's number 9, TCM 2022. Had fun with it. Wasn't anything amazing. That was one, yeah, that I would absolutely watch again. But yeah, for me, it wasn't like super outstanding. So that's why I didn't make my list. But still, it was what it was. It was a, an average slasher movie in my opinion. But and Brandon is also Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the new one. And Dee's is the Black Phone, as well as Gavin's Nice. See, that's one that may have made it if I hadn't gotten confused about release dates. But yeah, very solid choice. Mika's coming in with the underrated. Mika's number 9 is Resurrection with Rebecca Hall. Okay. I haven't even really heard of that. But you know what? I'm adding it to my have to watch list. I really thought that Rebecca Hall did a fantastic job with The Night House. Her acting in that was super, super good. So I would totally watch her in anything else. Gavin says, hey, Dee, make your own list. No copies. Philosopher Kings is Watcher, number 9. That's another one that I have not seen yet. And I'm really sad because I totally think I would absolutely love it. Because number 1, I just really like Micah Monroe. I think she's a great actress. And it looks like a super creepy thriller, maybe somewhat cat and mouse. So I'm a sucker for those. And that's one that I will try to watch very soon. But, Augustine's is Beast, the one where Idris Elba fights a lion. Yeah. Another one I haven't seen. Tell me, did you think that the lion looked good? I mean, I'm sure most of it's CGI. I'm just curious at what you thought about like the effects in that movie. Because like I said, I haven't seen it, but uh, and Hank says there's a fun thing to do for chat. Any non-horror movies that came out this year that you would love to see as a horror movie? Ooh, that's a good prompt, Hank. Top Gun Maverick as a horror movie. Okay. That's something I would absolutely watch, Hank. That sounds kind of awesome. Oh, and John Delicious also has Scream. Very nice. Yeah, for me it was good. It was fine. It's definitely not in my top favorite Scream movies. So that's kind of why it's a little lower on the top 10. But oh, thanks, Dee. Thank you so much. I've been really meaning to, you know how Ken of Sledgehammer Horror has his little video he plays every time someone donates. I really need to get something like that. Not to copy him, but I just think it's a really good idea to have like a fun little sort of thank you anytime someone donates donuts. So thank you, Dee. I so appreciate it. And Philosopher King says the Lion and Beast looked good. Okay. But you never really felt that it wasn't a CGI lion. Okay, that's the thing. And I think that it kind of takes the danger out of it. Like, I think there's just something in our brains that says, oh, that's not real. So he's not really in danger. So it kind of makes it a little less scary or tense, I guess. So, but that's good to know going in. Gavin wants to see Clerks 3 as a horror movie. Yes. Oh my gosh. These are great answers, guys. That's so funny. Lion looks cool, but CGI on it looks good to me. Okay. Yeah. That's the thing I think too is you kind of have to suspend your disbelief a little bit too. But yeah, it's gonna be hard to get away from CGI at this point in time, especially for stuff like that. And John Solis just says the reveal of Scream 5 was so good, and I did purchase the DVD. Nice. That's when I do not own that on DVD. Or Scream 4. I have 1 through 3 on like one of those like combo pack things. Yeah, so I need those for sure. Oh, that's a good idea, Gavin. I should have a soundboard that says gabagool when people donate. Oh, I like that. Maybe I'll have to try to make something that has like Tony Soprano looking like, I don't know, Freddy or Jason or something and saying gabagool. I like that idea. Alrighty. So if anyone else wants to tell your number 9, or if you're just jumping in and you want to tell us your number 10 and 9, please go ahead. Yeah. Oh, John Delicious. That's a really good one too. Do Revenge. I really liked that one. I thought it was really fun and a really fun nod to like the teen movie genre. So many references to like 10 Things I Hate About You and Heathers, Mean Girls, all that. So that's a really good answer. Okay, yeah. So that was number 9. So just to reiterate, my number 9 was Scream 5, Scream 2022, whatever you want to call it. So we're gonna move on. Oh, hey, T. Parker Evans is popping in with number 10, Orphan First Kill. Very nice, excellent choice. And oh, Brandon says should do top 10 favorite holiday horror movies. I love that idea because I love me some holiday horror for sure. And that was something I was gonna talk about too if we have time. What everybody watches around Thanksgiving for as far as horror goes. I know the options are a bit more limited compared to like Christmas horror, but we'll save that, put a pin in that, and we'll maybe talk about that later. But so start thinking about your favorite Thanksgiving horror movies. And T. Parker Evans says Barbarian at number 9. Awesome. Yeah. And mine, oh, that's right. So we did 10 and 9. And so I'm on 8. And I have my number 8 as Nope. Yes, Jordan Peele's Nope. And if you had asked me like at the beginning of the year, top 10 movies I was most excited for, Nope probably would have been number one, maybe, as far as ones I was really excited for, but, it just wasn't exactly what I was hoping as far as, like, an extraterrestrial horror would be, um, and I think part of it was because it was a little long. I definitely think that there were some things they could have cut out, and there were some ideas that I just didn't feel like were, I don't know, super fleshed out. It kind of left me wanting a little bit more, but still, an excellently made film. Obviously, Jordan Peele is like masterful at a directorial eye and shots and all of that. He does really well. So no complaints in that regard. I thought the cinematography was great. The sound design was amazing. Seeing it in theaters was definitely the right choice. But yeah, like I said, it just kind of left me wanting a little bit more. And it's probably number 3 out of Jordan Peele's filmography for me. So yeah, that's why it's coming in at number 8. But still a really solid film. And Nathan's is Jurassic World Dominion. Haven't seen any of the new Jurassic Park movies. So unfortunately, I can't comment on that. But oh, sorry, I got to go back a little bit. Nathan says we need more Thanksgiving horror movies. Sucks that there's very few to none at all. Yeah. And I did see that there was one that's on Hulu right now that's new. It's called Pilgrim, but I don't really know if it's good or not. So if anyone's seen that, let me know. And Gavin says nope at number 8 as well. Yeah, it wasn't my cup of tea, but it was a really well-made film. Yep. Yeah, totally agree with that. And Mika's is Fresh. Nice. Very, very good choice. I love Fresh. You'll see that later on my list for sure. Brandon's clocking in with Hellraiser number 8, and D with VHS 99 anthology. Yeah, haven't seen any of the VHS films either. Yeah, shorts and anthologies are some that for some reason they just like stay off my radar, and I really need to watch more of them. But Augustine's is Barbarian. Awesome. John Delicious is Sissy, a movie I enjoyed when watching, but liked even more a little while after watching. Yeah, there are definitely some that I have on my list where it's the same kind of thing where the more I sat with them, the more I thought about them, the more I liked them. So yeah, that's a really good description of that movie too, because it gives you some stuff to chew on, some ideas to chew on. And T. Parker Evans also has Fresh at 8. Nice. William Turnbull says Deadstream at number 9. Yeah, that's one that I watched pretty recently too. And I gotta say, it was very, very reminiscent. I know a lot of people have said this, but very reminiscent of Evil Dead 2 for me. Like if Sam Raimi were a live streaming YouTuber, that's what that is. I think it's a good description of that movie. But and Hellraiser for Philosopher King, very nice. Okay, Mika says that Pilgrim was a trip. I'd say it's worth the watch. Okay. Yeah, I watched the trailer for it, but I was gonna wait and see, maybe watch it a little closer to Thanksgiving. But Gavin says it was surprisingly decent. Okay, all right. Yeah, with those, you just never know. Some can be surprisingly good, and others can be like, whoa, why did I watch this? Kind of like Thanksgiving for me. That's one that I put on, and like, I think within the first, 10 minutes, I turned it off. That's one I should probably give a second chance to, but yeah, I don't know. That was several years ago that I tried to watch it, but T. Parker Evans says, got some Thanksgiving horror films in mind. One of them recently released. Okay. Yeah, like I said, we can kind of go into those a little later after we talk about our lists, but cool. Okay. So again, that was number 8, and mine was Nope. But of course, if you're just hopping in, feel free, give us your 10 through 8. So we're going to go ahead to number 7. And my number 7 is one that I just watched, and we've talked about it a little bit already in the chat, but Orphan First Kill. This movie was honestly so fun. I was a little worried. I said in my Letterboxd review, if any of you follow me on Letterboxd, you might have seen it, but I said that they had me worried in the first half, but then when the flip happens, I was like, okay, I'm all in on this. So I was a little worried with the direction they were going. And like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, but what they decided to do with it, and how long they waited to reveal the information, I think was kind of smart, because you're getting lulled into, okay, this is going to be almost exactly like the first one. Like, how is this different? But then it hits you and you're like, okay, all right. I'm totally down. And it's one that is just kind of campy by nature of it being this 20-something-year-old girl who's playing woman who's supposed to look like a child, but they have to do all the forced perspective stuff. And there are some parts where you're like, okay, that's definitely Isabel Furman. And then you're like, oh, okay, that's definitely like her child stunt double from the back. But yeah. So again, like I said, no spoilers, but if you haven't seen it and you liked the first one, I think you should absolutely watch it. Sorry, I keep hitting my my tripod. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, had fun. Julia Stiles did a great job too. She kind of surprised me with her performance, but yeah. So Nathan is saying Black Phone for number 7. Nice. Yeah, I do wonder, for those who really like the Black Phone, if you read the Joe Hill, was it a book or was it like a graphic novel? I'm not sure. But if you did read it, let me know. Let me know if you liked that better or the movie better. Oh, D's number 2 is Terrifier, or number 7 is Terrifier 2. Please don't kill me, Gavin. That's so funny. Oh yeah, Brandon, I definitely think that would count for sure. He's a vampire. I mean, yeah, absolutely. And T. Parker Evans is X. Nice. And Augustine's is Pearl. We're going to talk about those later too. Those are definitely on my list, as well as Barbarian. Very nice. John Delicious is Watcher. Nice. Gavin's is Scream. All right. Very, very good. And Mika's is Master. Oh, Mika, thank you. Mika's coming in clutch with all of the ones that I just totally forgot about and that I need to watch. But adding that to the list too, Mika. Gavin's so mad at D. Oh my gosh. Oh, yes, William. This is one too that I have not seen, but everybody was like raving about when it came out, when it dropped. So I'm adding that, although that's one that I'm gonna have to watch when I'm in a certain mood, because I know it's kind of like there's a lot going on. There's some I don't know. I was gonna say morally iffy stuff, but that's like every horror movie, but you know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. And Parker agrees. Meh about Orphan First Kill until we reach the point. And that one point in the film, you know when it happens if you've seen it. And then you're all in after that for sure. Absolutely. And Gordon Knight says X was this year. Yes, isn't that wild? It was like what, March or something? Like, so it wasn't even like at the very beginning of the year, but it feels like the universe of X has been such a thing for so long because we already have a sequel. Yeah, Gavin, I totally forgot about that too. And John Delicious is honestly surprised you got through the sadness. Yeah. See, that's what I've heard. And so I just need to, like I said, I need to watch it when I'm in the right mood. But hey, Hector, what's up? Another Thanksgiving movie could be Blood Freak, about a guy with a giant turkey head that drinks the blood of addicts. Yeah. I've heard about that one. And I know that one's like super, super low budget. I want to say I watched Red Letter Media. If y'all follow them on YouTube, they do this series called Best of the Worst, where they watch these like um, some are so bad they're good, some are just bad. But they watch those kinds of movies and then talk about them. And I think that was one of them in one of those episodes. And from the clips they showed, it looked pretty rough. But oh, Gavin would have put the sadness on your list. Yeah. Letterbox. See, that's the thing I'm so confused about. I don't know if this is just a product of COVID or what, but or because these movies aren't theatrically released. Possibly if they were like shown at a festival or something, they'll be listed as 1 year. But if they don't come to streaming until the next year, you know, it gets kind of murky. But like I said, I'm definitely not going to be nitpicky about release dates for that. But okay, Gordon Knight. Yes, we have a best of the worst fan. I love it. So good. Okay, I'm going to take a sip of my adult beverage and move on to, we are on 6 now. So this will mark the halfway point. And I was kind of struggling with the middle. Like I kind of knew what my top 3 or 4 were, but the middle ones I was kind of like, oh, I could almost switch any of these and be happy with the order. So so for number 6, I have Pearl, and it's really close to number 5 for me because I saw them on the same day. So if you have watched my vlog about this, then you'll know which one that is. But yeah, so Pearl, I was really excited for. Like we said, X was a huge hit, and it got me really, really excited for Pearl. And the fact that we got it like only 6 months after X was just wild. So that even with that quick of a turnaround, I think that it was beautifully shot, beautifully made, incredibly acted. It just wasn't as horror as I was expecting. I feel like if it had a little bit of a stronger horror feel to it, it would be higher on my list. But just because of that, I have it at number 6. But I mean, Mia Goth is just phenomenal, and I'm so excited for Maxine. Like I can't wait for that one. My hope is we get that pretty early next year. But again, I don't want them to rush it or anything like that. But yeah, just the whole world of Pearl, and like the super pastoral shots, all the cornfields and everything, that scarecrow scene, if you know, you know, that kind of stuff. I thought that it was just so well done. But we just didn't get as much of like what I was expecting with Pearl, what we see of her in X and her character and how she gets to the point she is in X. I kind of wanted to see a little bit more of how she got to where she was. But that was just me, personal preference. But Hank is asking, is Blood Freak a trauma film? That's a good question. I'm not sure. If anyone knows. And D's is the Seed. Okay. That was one that was on Shudder too, I think. And that's also one I haven't seen. But okay, Brandon's is the Munsters. Nice. Parker's is Nope. Awesome. Okay, John Delicious is the Menu, and this is one that it's still in theaters, right? Like it just came out, but I'm gonna add it to my list anyway. Ooh. And I know some people are saying like, oh, you know, more thriller than horror, whatever. We're counting both, either. So like people have said Watcher is more of a thriller at whatever. It's all the same to me. So yeah, that's one I really, really want to see. And Philosopher Kings is also Pearl. Nice. Twinsies. Okay. Gordon Knight's is Cemetery Rats from Cabinet of Curiosities. So that is the Guillermo del Toro series, right? Yeah, one that I haven't seen any episodes from. Oh, Nathan's is Pearl too. Nice. And Gavin's is Barbarian. Nice. Yeah, Pearl was good. And it's like we were saying earlier, ones that you kind of like sit with and think about after you get home from the theater, or after you're done watching it the next day. You're just kind of still marinating over it. Like those are the ones that I think It adds points for me when a film can do that. So even if I walk out of the theater and I go, oh, that was good, but it wasn't what I was expecting. But then if I still am thinking about it later, then I know that it did something, like I connected with it in some way. So that definitely gives it bonus points for sure. Williams is Dawn Breaks Behind the Eyes. That's one I haven't heard of either, but it's going on the list. Wow, is that a foreign film? I don't know anything about that. Behind the Eyes. Cool. Hank says Werewolf by Night was number 6 for me, if that counts as a movie. I'm not sure what that is, Hank. Let me know. Mika's You Won't Be Alone. Okay. I think I heard of that one, but again, that's one I haven't seen. Dang, we did get a lot of releases this year, didn't we? And I do wonder too if that's another hangover of COVID, of like all these projects that were halted because of it, and now we're just getting them. Yeah. And Augustine says Paranormal Activity Next of Kin. I know it came out last year, but I included this one because it was released this year on DVD. Nice. Yeah, that's another franchise. Gotta watch them all. Yeah, I totally agree. A Philosopher King, that is just an epic moment of acting. Like the fact that she did that in basically all one take is mind-blowing to me. Like, I don't know how she could get through that long of a take with that much range of emotion and like it just being on her face the whole time. It's just incredible. And Pearl didn't do it for Gavin. Very well made, but whatever. I could totally see that for sure. Yeah. Like I said, I do wish there was some more horror to it, but still a pretty good character film. Hector says Blood Freak was released on DVD by Something Weird Video. It's kind of movie Trauma would have made had it been around during the hippie days. Oh, okay. Good to know. Nathan can't wait, or can't with the paranormal franchise. Oh, Paranormal Activity. Yeah. Yeah. Those are some that I think it's kind of like Blair Witch, where after your first watch, if you know what's going to happen, and the novelty can kind of wear off, I guess, and it's just not, I don't know, not as exciting as like the first time watch. But yeah, the monologue is just like, this is going and going and going. I think did I clock it? I can't remember. I feel like it felt like 10 minutes. It might not have been that long, but at least 6 minutes long for sure, which is a very long time to just talk straight. And Hank says Werewolf by Night was the Marvel horror special. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Nice, guys. We got a good list, and I really appreciate Mika for naming all of these ones that I totally forgot about. Okay, so that was 6, and just a reminder, my 6 was Pearl, and we're moving on to number 5. My number 5 is Barbarian. So yeah, this was the kind of surprise hit of the year, it felt like, as far as people going in and being completely just blown away by the story and the surprise of it. And just the fact that it's, like I said, a new horror. It's not based on anything pre-existing. A new story, new characters, everything. And for it to be so successful and just do so well in the theaters, and without having really any other name recognition. So like you don't have the Jordan Peele kind of name attached to it. I mean, it was by the producers or whatever of it, but that was basically the only thing. And Zach Kreger, I think it was the director, had only directed one other movie before, and it was a comedy. So all of that you wouldn't add up and think like, oh, this is going to be a super successful horror movie. Then it turns out it was, which is awesome. And it's one that I'm excited to rewatch, and kind of going in knowing the twists and turns it takes. And the fact that it's on HBO Max now, I can do that. So I'll I'll try to catch up on the ones I haven't seen first and then rewatch it. But it's kind of like a lot of people have compared it to Malignant in that, where it kind of goes in these wild places. And once you know what happens, rewatches are really fun. So I'm excited to go back and see it. Oh yeah, thanks, Mika. Yeah, I will definitely let you know as soon as I watch some of those. But oh, Brandon and Philosopher King of X at their number 5. Nice. John Delicious says bodies, bodies, bodies. Also Gavin with X. And Nathan S. Hellraiser. Stayed up extremely late one night to watch it, and it was so amazing. It kept me up. Nice. That's awesome. Mika's got Watcher. Oh, D, thank you. Oh my gosh, how could I forget about that too? Also adding it to my watch list, Wendell and Wild. Speaking of Jordan Peele, and it is by the same company that did Coraline, right? Yeah, that looked really, really cool. Thank you for reminding me of that, D. Everyone talking about the Pearl monologue and the ending credit scene, yes, where she cries and smiles for 2 minutes straight. Yeah, that is so true. And I want to know how many takes it took for Mia Goth to get that. And I would also love to see any outtakes from that where she just either totally breaks and starts laughing, or like her face hurts so much from smiling that she can't do it anymore. Like, I feel like it'd be really hard to hold that kind of face, and her eyebrows are like way up there too. So yeah, that scene is very, very memorable. Ooh, Augustine has Halloween Ends on in an empty theater, and as soon as it ended, I clapped. I would love to be one of the theater workers there, and they're just like out in the hall sweeping or something, and they just hear one person clapping. Oh, that's so funny. And Parker's is the Menu. I look at it as a Thanksgiving dark comedy psychological thriller. Nice. That's another one where I know a lot of people are putting together, because Thanksgiving horror movies aren't that many. They have been putting together lists of like famous dinner scenes or just movies around food. And it seems like that one has been pretty well received so far. And a lot of people have named that as a good one to watch for like Thanksgiving time. So that's really cool. William's got Mad God, number 5. And that was also animated, right? I think D, you were telling me to watch that, and I still haven't. I'm sorry. No, Hank, that was 2 years ago. You guys are right. Yeah. Brandon and Nathan, thank you. 2020. Yeah. And still haven't seen it. Need to for sure. Oh yeah, Nathan, I think that you would like that one. I did just watch the original Invisible Man recently, and I gotta say it might be like my favorite of the Universal monster movies. I don't know, it's pretty high up there with Frankenstein, but I still haven't seen The Mummy. That's like the one, I believe it's the only Universal monster movie I haven't seen yet, but I really, really liked the original Invisible Man. Gavin says, does your next take place on Thanksgiving, or was it a random family dinner? I want to say it was just a random family dinner, but yeah. Swallow would be a disturbing Thanksgiving horror film. That'd be good. Yeah. And that's again one I haven't seen. We can know. Hi. Yeah. So, sorry, I'm just blocking someone. Hey, Gordon Knight. Yes. Great Anna and Invisible Man is great and over the top. Yeah. The original or Hank says, I'll lend you the mummy. Thanks, Hank. Yeah, I don't know. I blocked him, Gavin. Yeah. No bots yet, but just people being dumb. Could consider your next as Thanksgiving. Yeah, I totally agree, Nathan. Okay. So everybody, that was hey, thank you. Appreciate it. That was number 5. No, that was number 5, right? Yes. Yeah. Number 5 was a Barbarian. So we have number 4, And my number 4, we talked about it a lot, is X. And yeah, this is one I've kind of talked about a lot on this channel. But it's, I don't know, it's just one of those that's, I think, going to really stick out as far as horror, new horror in the future. We're going to look back at the 2020s and kind of remember X as being this kind of like progenitor of newer slasher films, and Ty West coming back from a pretty long hiatus of being gone from movies, since he was doing a lot of TV for a while. He had stepped back from making movies and from horror for a long time. So it was kind of cool to just see him come back swinging with this like period piece slasher in the middle of all of these reboots and remakes. So, and the fact that it spurred its own franchise already. We're getting, we already have a sequel or prequel, and we're getting a sequel. So just really cool to see. So yeah, X is my number 4. And Gavin's is Smile Nice. Brandon's Firestarter. That's another one that I haven't seen. Yeah, gotta add that to my list too. Totally forgot about that. And we've got D with Halloween Ends, Philosopher King, Black Phone, The Menu for Augustin, and Nathan with Prey, Predator prequel. This movie was awesome. I absolutely agree. John Delicious has Orphan First Kill. So much fun watching, and I'll be buying it when it releases here for sure. Nice. Yeah, that's one I do have Orphan. I do have Orphan on DVD, but got to get First Kill. Oh, okay. Hector says favorite movie so far has been Studio 666. Was that this year? I thought that was last year, but I could definitely be wrong. Oh, William, thank you. The Hatching. That's another one I haven't seen. But it's been on my radar too. Mika also with The Hatching. Parker with the Black Phone. Gavin did not care for Firestarter. And Mika is saying that Hatching was really good too. Nice. Yeah, that's another one I need to see for sure. Yeah. And I will say I did, this is one that's not on my list, but I've seen a lot of people mention. I just watched it today, so I needed some time to kind of think about it a little more. But Speak No Evil, which is the, it's on Shudder. I don't know if it is Dutch or I should have looked it up before, but it was interesting. Yeah, it was kind of bleak. And by kind of, I mean very bleak. But I didn't love it enough to put it on my list. But I guess I'm going to tack that on as an honorable mention, just because I haven't seen anyone mention it yet. But still worth watching. And it kind of reminded me of the director Michael Haneke, who has done like Funny Games. It was kind of his style. So if you like him, then you'd probably like that. So again, that one was Speak No Evil, but it's not on my list. I was just kind of adding it to talk about because I watched it today. But and Gavin says, I have a feeling Hatching could make my list, but haven't seen it yet. Yeah, it looks like it's got some really good body horror in it for sure. And John Delicious says it was the weirdest of 2022. Yeah. I would say if I had to pick weirdest for this year, from the ones I've seen, I don't know. I guess I would probably pick Terrifier 2, maybe. I don't know. Even so, that one wasn't like super weird. It was just gory. Well, I don't know. I guess there's we'll get to it because it's on my list. But yeah. So Terrifier 2, yes. Like I said, we'll talk about it. And Parker enjoyed Firestarter. The score is by John Carpenter. I had no idea about that. Really? Wow. Okay. Hank is saying Thanksgiving movie Poultrygeist. Yes, that's Trauma. About a restaurant built on a Native American burial ground. Spirits possess turkeys and go on a rampage. Yeah, that's one I haven't seen that either, but that's a good mention though, Hank. And Hector says might have blooped it. It could have been last year. Okay, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, what day is it? What year is it? What time is it? I have no idea. Yeah, Miko, so bleak. I totally agree. Debated putting it on your list. Yeah. Like I said, so a big factor for me was rewatchability. And I was just like, I just don't know if I'm ever going to rewatch this. Like, it's so, I don't know, just kind of depressing. Okay, Hanks was the Munsters. Nice. Very nice. Okay. So that was number 4. So we're up to the top 3. Yeah. My number 3, I was kind of surprised by. And like we said, we've been talking about it a lot, but my number 3 is Terrifier 2. Yes. I know. I'm sorry, Gavin. It's not my number 1. I'm sorry. But still top 3, bronze medal, which is pretty good. And yeah, I don't know. There was just something about this movie that I was surprised by, the combination of the very straight up like slasher elements, totally, you know, gory, nasty kills, stuff like that, with the very whimsical and kind of fun like dream sequences, or the different things happening where we have like our main character who's dreaming. And for those who've seen it, you'll know like the clown cafe stuff, like that stuff was really like, I think that's what surprised me by it, because the first Terrifier, I don't think, if my memory serves me correctly, I don't think there's anything like that in the first one. It's definitely more just straight slasher. So I was really glad that they added that kind of stuff, as well as having a really likable main character that you really wanted to root for. And yeah, I don't know, just they did it for such a low budget, and it turned out to be so fun and so entertaining. And I just really like art a lot. So yeah. Gavin's is The Viewing, an episode of Cabinet of Curiosities. I saw the Panos Cosmatos directed this particular episode, and I've never ran to my computer faster in my life. Okay, The Viewing. All right, so that one, and then the one about rats, right? Those were the 2 mentioned so far, I think. Yeah, those are ones that if I watch that show, which I should, but those will be at the top of my list to watch, because that sounds really interesting too. Because Panos is just, he's such a unique director, so I'd love to watch that. But Nathan's coming in at Scream 5 for number 3. John Delicious is Barbarian Nice. Brandon's also Scream 5. I love the having the 5 for the S. Philosopher King is Prey. Love it. D is Out There Halloween Tape. Oh, okay. The sequel to WNUF. That's another one I haven't heard of, D. Interesting. And Williams is Crimes of the Future. And Gavin is mad at me. I know, I'm sorry. It's still number 3, though. Mika's is The Innocents. Alrighty. Mika, again, you're stumping me with these. I'm adding it. Okay, Parker's got Pearl. Film is near masterpiece. Love the character-driven slow burn plot, and Mia Goth deserves an Oscar. I totally agree. I feel like poor Mia Goth is gonna have to act in some, like, I don't know, Oscar bait drama in order to get an Oscar nomination, because she's just not getting recognized for these horror movies. So sad. I mean, I'm just predicting for next Oscars that she won't be nominated. I could be wrong. I could be proved wrong. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, sorry. Out There Halloween Mega Tape. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'll have to look into that, D. Gustin has Death Valley released on Shudder. Okay. Last year, but released on DVD this year. Very cool. We've got Jeepers Creepers Reborn. And John Delicious says Terrifier 2 is wild. Cinema's over here demanded ID, sorry. Demanded ID to watch it, and I've never seen that before. Oh yeah. I mean, I remember getting not carded, but well, yeah, maybe I was carded. When I would go to the theater to see rated R movies. I think you have to be like 17 or something. so I feel like they used to do that. I don't know. But yeah, that's interesting. Thanks, Gavin. Yes. Still absolutely worthy of being in the top for sure. Parker says, I feel like I'm in the minority that I can't get behind Terrifier 2. Only memorable parts were the kills, but they were tasteless and the clown cafe sequence. I totally get that's not for everyone for sure. It definitely pushes the boundaries in a lot of ways, and just is not afraid to just go all out with the gore and everything. So yeah. But yeah, totally respect everyone's opinions and totally get that it's not going to be for everyone. But oh, wait, Hank, did you see Jeepers Creepers? Or is that something else? Jeepers Cheaper. Mika had to remove the innocence, as I think its debut was technically in 2001. Okay. Oh, but switching it with X. All right, that works. Yeah. Again, I'm not going to be not nitpicky about the release dates, but yeah. Okay, nice. Everyone had really good top 3, or number 3. So we're going to go to our top 2. And to recap, my number 3 was Terrifier 2. And I guess at the end, I'll just go ahead and go over, all of them from 10 to 1. But for now, number 2, I have Fresh. And this is one that I think I rated it like 4.5 stars and a heart on Letterboxd. So at the time, I really, really liked it. And it just felt like it came out earlier in the year too. So this was when we hadn't got as much of the movies out, obviously. But at that time, I was just like, oh, wow, this feels like something really new. It's something different and like such an interesting take on the cannibal subgenre, something that we haven't really seen done well since basically Raw, I feel like. So Raw came out in 2016, I think. D, you'll know when Raw was released. I know you will. So that's a good 6 years after. And again, I haven't seen every single cannibal movie ever, so I could be wrong. There could be good ones that have come out between then, but it just felt like it kind of breathed new life into this sort of stale subgenre. And I just really liked the main character. I thought that, oh gosh, I don't remember the actress's name. I want to say Daisy something, but I could be wrong about that. But yeah, she did a phenomenal job. Sebastian Stan did a phenomenal job. Just the whole setup and the way that the story played out, I thought was super interesting. And it's one I could just see myself going back to and really enjoying it on rewatch after rewatch. So I really, really liked Fresh a lot. Philosopher King has Smile. Nice. And Brandon's is Ends. Nathan's got Orphan First Kill. Oh, okay. Hank, Jeepers Creepers. Yeah. Did you watch the new one or are you talking about the original? We've got another Halloween Ends. And Augustine says Hellbender. That's another one that I wasn't sure. I think I watched it last year, I think, but I could be wrong. This is why I just very heavily rely on Letterboxd to tell me when I watch something, what I felt about it, because I feel like my memory for stuff like this is just so bad. So I have to go back and be like, wait, what did I rate that again? When did I watch it? John Delicious has Exit 2. And Mika, this is another one. Oh my God. This is another one that I really need to watch. And the fact that you have it as number 2 is awesome, because that's going to really bump it up on my watch list, because it just sounds like such an interesting premise. For those who don't know, and Mika, if you maybe want to try to explain it without spoilers, but it's kind of, from my understanding, like a country music horror movie, which sounds really interesting. And it has, oh my gosh, the lady who, I don't remember her name, but she voices the one-eyed girl in Futurama. She's from Married with Children. I don't know her name, but she's in it. So I thought that was really interesting too. D for number 2 has the Poloni Show Halloween Special. It's a movie, I promise. Movie disguised as a TV show Halloween special. And it's an anthology. What? Okay. Another one to add to the list. Poloni show. Okay. Alrighty. That's really cool, D. All right. So got that down. Gavin's got Fresh for number 2. Hell yeah. So good. Yeah, totally. I think a big thing about the movies that horror movies particularly that I really enjoy generally have a good mix of horror and comedy or drama or whatever it is, but the ones that do the moments of levity really well. So I think that that's a big factor. So like I was saying about Speak No Evil, there's like no levity in that movie. You don't really get a break. It's all just like bad things happening pretty much. But the movie like Fresh that kind of injects humor in the right spots can be really, really effective and also just kind of give us a breather from the bad stuff that's happening. So I think that's a big reason of why it's so high on my list too. So yeah. Parker's got Halloween Ends. I'll defend this film till the end of time. Yeah, Parker, I got to give it a second chance. I have to admit, I really, really was not a fan. And I think a big part of it was just the direction they went with it. And I got to go in knowing how it goes. And I think that might help me kind of take it better. But it was just so out of left field that I was like, okay, I don't know about this. But yeah, we're twinsies, Gavin. Thank you, D. Raw's from 2016, but released 2017. Okay. Thank you. I knew you'd know that. Ooh, another one I haven't heard of. William's got Soft and Quiet at number 2. Okay. I'm gonna add that too. You all know I'm really slow at typing. So okay. Thank you, Gavin. Yes, Katie Siegel. Yes. Okay. Country Meets Horror starring Katie Siegel. That's a really good, like, just one line description. Yeah, I really, really, really need to see that one. Gavin says Fresh is so well done stylistically without being over the top. Yes. And they made that food look so good. I was just like, I know it's people, but it looks delicious. So they really did a good job with that too, because you really get put in the mindset of Noah and being like, well, I know I shouldn't eat this, but I'm so hungry. And also it looks really good. So, oh, okay. Nathan says number 1 X, but it could be replaced with Terrifier 2 whenever I get to watch it. Okay. Yes. That's true. We really got to check in when the actual end of year happens and see what has changed about our lists, if anything is, taken over other films. And I'm positive that would happen if I watched some of these ones I haven't seen yet. But and K&J Horror says Ends is bad. I guess it's all subjective, but yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't for me. Totally, I would have eaten that meatball too. It looked so good. It looked delicious. Okay, all right, y'all. We have gone 10 through 2. Oh, that's a good idea, Nathan. Yeah, like a check-in stream and be like, let's compare our lists from November to now. Yeah, that's a good idea. So I'm going to go ahead and count down from 10 to 2, going in reverse, just to recap my top 10. And then we'll go ahead and talk about our number 1s. Gano says there's still so many horror films made this year that I should watch. I'll try to get them in before the next top 10 live. Yeah, that's the thing too, because I feel like doing this, you can kind of see what other people have on their lists. And if there's one that's mentioned a lot where you're like, oh, I haven't seen that, so I should, bump that up on my watch list or whatever. It's good to see what other people are into too. So yeah. All right. So going from 10 to 2, I'm going to start with my honorable mention. And that was Somnum, the short horror film by Kylie from Haunted Hippie. That's SOMNUM that you can watch on YouTube, like 6 minutes long. So definitely want to shout that out. Oh no, we got our first bot. And I think I got it. Okay. Oh, okay. D's got their honorable mentions too. I'll go through those. Mad God, The Spine of Night, The Demons of Dorothy, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Nope, Pearl Barbarian. Nice. The Spine of Night. I've never heard of that. Or Demons of Dorothy. So those are more that I have to watch. But okay, so we had 10 was Hellraiser / Sissy. I kind of cheated and I had 2 for number 10. 9 was Scream. 8 was Nope. 7, Orphan vs. Kill. 6, Pearl. 5, Barbarian. 4, X. 3, Terrifier 2. 2, Fresh. And, excuse me. I'm going to pause before number 1 because Lopekey has donated. Yay! Happy Thanksgiving. Oh, thanks, Lopekey. I was saying this earlier. I don't know if you were in the chat, but I was saying that I need to get a little thank you video to play after people donate, like Ken does on Sledgehammer Horror. And so I'm going to add that at some point, Lopekey, but for now, you'll just get a hearty thank you from me. But yeah, I so appreciate it. And number 1 on my list is Prey, the Predator prequel. And like I said, I've been kind of surprised by some of the ones that are on this list. Like I said, Terrifier 2, I was surprised made it this high. And I'm also very shocked that a Predator prequel is number 1 on my list because I don't know much about Predator. I've only seen the original. And I was not expecting to like this movie, let alone love it and find it to be so refreshing and so great. Just the whole setup of it being set in like the 1600s, and from a Native perspective, and having Native female protagonist fighting this predator, and being a badass along the way. And yeah, oh my gosh, there's just so much about it. Like I said, rewatchability super high. Would totally at any given time be able to throw on this movie and have a great time with it. So John Delicious's honorable mentions: No Exit, Smile, Prey, Terrifier 2, and Fresh. Nice. I do love doing honorable mentions because you can still shout out ones that you want to talk about a little bit, but even if they didn't necessarily make your top 10. So oh, and Lopekey says, don't forget to roundhouse kick that like button. Thank you, Lopekey. You're so awesome. And thank you. Oh, this is so nice. I'm not sure if your name is just Black or, but thank you regardless. That's really nice of you. Philosopher King's number 1 is Nope. Very cool. D's got X. Parker's got 5 Scream 5. Can't wait for Scream double exclamation point, Scream 6, whatever they're gonna call it. Yeah, who knows? I agree. I'm very interested to see where they take the franchise for sure. John Delicious's Pearl. Yes, she's an icon. She's a legend, and she is the moment. You're so right about that. The character has really just resonated with a lot of people, as we've seen from a lot of people doing cosplays of her. And yeah, just super memorable. Brandon's got Fresh. Awesome. We love it. Oh, Mika's honorable mention is Piggy. Nice. That's one I have not seen. But Hector says, Happy Thanksgiving. Eat a lot of turkey and pumpkin pie. Yes. Delicious. Okay. Black's is Fall is number 1. Nice. Thank you, Nathan. Yeah, I really, really liked Prey. For those who were who watched the live that I was on of Sledgehammer Horror, where we talked about our favorite final girls, the protagonist from Prey was on mine because I just thought that she was so cool and just such a fighter and such a survivor. And again, like the Indigenous representation is awesome. So Mika's number 1's Nope. All right. I was so curious, Mika, to see what your number 1 was. That's awesome. Loki says Prey was a fun time. Yeah. Ooh, okay. Augustin says Dash Cam. Also my all-time favorite horror movie. Wow. Again, that's one I haven't seen. And I'm gonna put it on here too, even though I think I have it on my Letterboxd watch list. But yeah, that's one I still really, really need to see. Oh, wow. Yeah, Gavin, I'm sure it is. Uh-huh, uh-huh. And Loki just popped in. Was Fall or Orphan First Kill on the list? Yes. A lot of people had both, either one or both on their lists. But mine, I did not have Fall because I haven't seen it, but I did have Orphan First Kill at number 7. Yeah. I just watched it and I really had a fun time with it for sure. Um, K&J says, love the Clown Cafe scene in Terrifier 2. Agreed. It's awesome. And Gordon Knight, can't argue with Prey. Barbarian for you. Yeah, totally understand Barbarian. It's excellent, of course. Gavin is being a silly goose. And obviously, if y'all haven't caught from what we've been talking about in the chat, but his is Terrifier 2. Yes. Mika says Prey was such a great one. I would say to watch it as well in the native language version. Yes, that's something I have yet to do. So my next time I watch it, which will be my first time rewatch, I will watch it in the Comanche dub, I think it is. Yeah, for sure. Good thing to point out, Mika. Amity Thanksgiving, number 1 million. Oh my God. Did that come out this year? Is that real? There's so many Amityville movies, it's so hard to keep track. But and Gavin loved Prey. I'm surprised by it being your number 1. I was too. Yeah, I think that honestly, my top 3. Well, maybe I'll say my top 2. So Fresh and Prey could probably flip at any time. And maybe after rewatches, that'll kind of like cement how I feel about them. But yeah, for those 2, I don't know. They were the only 2 that I gave 4.5 stars on Letterboxd out of all the films from this year. So I was like, I got to put them at 1 and 2. But and William says it's going to go with Hocus Pocus 2. Number 1 is Lucifer. Is that a show or a movie, William? I'm not sure. Time to buy cheap 4K horror on Black Friday. Hell yeah, that's so true. Yeah, everybody, it's a great time to buy Blu-rays if you don't know. A lot of boutique labels like Vinegar Syndrome and Severin have their Black Friday sales. So very good call. And Parker saw a dash cam yesterday on Hulu, and it was something but entertaining and absolutely weird. That's kind of what I've heard too. I've heard that the main character can be a little hard to deal with, I guess, or like some people could find them kind of annoying. Yeah, but that's just what I've heard. Again, I haven't seen it. But Brandon's honorable mention, Where the Crawdads Sing, even though it's a thriller drama. Yeah, haven't seen that one either. But it was also starring the star of Fresh, right? Again, I can't think of what her name is, but Loki says Fall was really good, but I saw it on the big screen, so I'm not sure if it has the same effect at home. But hopefully it's still fun. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like it might be one of those kind of like Nope, where seeing it in a theater is a really different experience because you can get like the great heights and the big scale of everything, which kind of gets lost on your home TV. So unfortunately, if I do watch it, it will be on my home TV. But Gab says, isn't there an Amityville going to space next? Literally no one asked for that. Yeah. I just don't even know. I've only seen the first one. So, I think every horror franchise, I guess they're going to try to go to space. We'll see. There's some that, that hasn't happened yet, but maybe we will get an entry in the X universe where they go to space. Who knows? It'll be like porn in space. Nathan, yeah, I know. Shaheem had a dinner to go to, but we definitely miss Shaheem's usually in the chat. So Dashcam has the worst protagonist ever, says Parker. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I've heard. Yeah, Mika agrees. Hard to watch. Yeah. I know for some people, Deathstream was kind of like that too. Like they just couldn't get past the protagonist. And some people felt that way about all the characters in Bodies. So William says Lucifer movie. Okay. I can't remember where I had to stream it from. Huh. Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that one. K&J, Dawn of the Dead, OG in 3D was sweet. Okay. Did they release that in theaters or something this year? And hey Ben, what's up? I love all the Killer Santa movies coming out next month. Okay, that's something I was gonna talk about. Um, which I don't know if all of them are horror or not, but I think I've only seen two that are coming out. Gavin says, if Art the Clown or Ghostface go to space, I will actually cry real tears. Tears of joy or tears of sadness. um, and Loki is excited for Chucky season 2 finale. Oh, hey, Christmas episode. Nice. Yeah, very cool. And Parker says, Bodies, 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 least favorite horror film of the year for me. Yeah, it wasn't, obviously it didn't make my list. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of it had to do with the characters for me. But Philosopher King says it has 0 redeemable people. By the end, even the main character. Yeah, and that's hard. And some people are like, oh, I don't mind, if they're going to be killed off anyway, who cares? But having at least one person to latch onto helps me. But tears of absolute depression. No. Well, okay, Gavin, I kind of have a feeling that it's not going to happen with Scream. And honestly, they could just throw a real curveball with Terrifier and have it in space. Who knows? I feel like they could do anything with that franchise. But Brandon just wanted to mention some old horror movies I saw in theaters: Halloween, Lost Boys, and Donnie Darko. Those are all excellent ones to watch in theaters. Very nice. I love that some places are still showing older movies like that. And I know The Thing was in theaters for a little bit for the 40th anniversary. Oh my gosh, yes. Thank you, Nathan. That's what I was going to bring up. One of the two Santa, like crazy Santa movies that's coming out later, and Violent Night is the one with David Harbour, who obviously from Stranger Things. But yeah, it definitely looks more action. It looks more just like high octane, him punching people. But it does look really awesome, and I'm really excited to see it because I love David Harbour, and I just think it's going to be really fun and over the top. So yeah, from the trailer, that's what it looks like. Yeah, and I don't, if anyone knows what the other Santa movie coming out later, or Killer Santa, I think there's maybe like Bloody Christmas or something. Is that right? Gordon Knight says, hey, now Leprechaun in Space rocks, so it can't be done. That movie is absolutely ridiculous. And Gavin says another movie that I watched this year was awful, Unhuman. Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that one either. I'm trying to think of ones that I would deem like truly awful. I gotta say, my very, very bottom of the barrel for this year, probably Halloween Ends. Again, that's just me, but yeah, I think I gave it like half a star on Letterboxd. But and Loki says there's a horror movie about an animatronic Santa that starts killing people. Can't remember what it's called. Okay, that sounds like it could be interesting, like a Willy's Wonderland meets Christmas. Can we do bad movies now that we've finished? Yeah, oh, that's fine. Yeah, go for it. Prescott's favorite was Pearl. Very nice. Yeah, I know you just watched that for the first time, Prescott. It's a great one. And Ben just got back from seeing The Menu. Interesting movie. Had me starving for a burger. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's one that's kind of like fresh, where I don't know, like I haven't seen The Menu, so I don't know if there's anything weird in the food, but the fact that they make it look so delicious, and just part of it being like mixed in with horrific things happening, I don't know, I just think that's super interesting. But and Black says, if your stream is so good, lost track of time. Oh, gotta go to the graveyard shift job. Well, oh, thanks for joining. Thank you so much. I hope you have a good shift at work and have a good night. Oh, Loki says The Mean One. Okay. So there are a lot. If that's separate from the robot one and there's Violent Night, then yeah. Yes, Mika, I agree. It looks so good. I really hope that it, lives up to the hype. But yeah. Christmas, Bloody Christmas. Okay, that is what it's called. Thank you, Nathan. And Hank says Krampus. I don't know. if I spelled it right. You got pretty close, Hank. Yeah. That's definitely one that's up there as far as Christmas horror goes, for sure. It's not my favorite Christmas horror movie, but it is up there. Dee's least favorite was Firestarter. I kind of heard that one was kind of boring. Yeah. And Nathan says the other Christmas movie that looks like a horror slasher. Okay. I wonder which one that is. Bloody Christmas movie. Or wait, is that the one you said? Yes, thank you. You were saying that that one is like a horror slasher. Okay. There are definitely some pretty bad Christmas slashers out there. So John Delicious is going to watch Black Christmas 75 and 06 for the first time. Oh, you've only seen the 2019 one. Oh, wow. That's so interesting. Didn't like it, so I'm sure the other two are great in comparison. Yeah. I would really love to know what you think about both of those and how you would rank all of them after you watch them all, because I haven't seen 2019 still, but maybe I'll finally do that this year. But obviously, the 70s one is an absolute classic. And the 2006 one is bonkers in its own right. So Prescott was disappointed by Halloween Ends. Yeah. I just don't know what they could have done to, like, obviously you're not going to be able to please everyone, but it just seemed like they went so left field with it that you're like, oh man, I don't know who would be happy with this. I guess some people are just like, it was something different, so I liked that, which totally fair. But I don't know. For me, I was just so thrown off by it that I was like, yeah, agreed, Mika. I agree. And KJ's saying that the new Firestar was weak too. Yeah. Which is sad because oh my God. I'm having such a hard time thinking of actors today, y'all. Zac Efron is in that, right? Yeah. Which, you know, I feel like he's kind of built up his reputation as an actor. So it's kind of unfortunate that he was in that. But and Black Friday from last year was decent Thanksgiving film. That's what I've heard too. Another one I still have to see. But Requiem for a Scream. That's a really good name. I like that name. Unfortunate that the film does not sound as good as the name, but Lopi's asking if I've seen Woman King. I was dragged to go see it and absolutely loved it. No, I haven't seen it. Nope. I'm really bad. I need to expand my watching of new movies that aren't horror because I really prioritize horror when it comes to watching new films. So that's one that I just haven't really seeked out, but good to know that you liked it. Prescott's birthday's tomorrow. Nice. Happy early birthday, Prescott. That's awesome. Let us know how you feel about the menu too after you see it. But Ben wasn't a fan of Best Friend's Exorcism. Sad because I like the book. Again, that's what I've heard too. Like I said, I would really love to read the book before watching the movie. And I do wonder if any of Grady Hendrix's other works are being optioned for movies. Because it seems like his books would just lend themselves really well to films. Again, I haven't read any of them, but just from what I've heard, it sounds like they can make some really good horror comedies. But A Christmas Horror Story 2015 anthology. It's legit freaking good. Or it's legit good. Freakiest Krampus I've seen. Ooh, okay. All right. See, people sleep on anthologies, but there can be some really good stuff in anthologies. Gavin's asking what I'm drinking. This is a citrus ale of some kind. I think it's by Highwire Brewing. I forget the name of the actual beer, but yeah, very light, nice, drinkable. Loki says the guy who plays Art is playing the Grinch. Oh, okay. I do think I saw that. Yes. He's playing the Grinch in the mean one. So it's like a killer Grinch movie. Yeah. I'm down for that for sure. The Jim Carrey Grinch is one of my favorite Christmas movies because it's just one that I watched as a kid. And now I can really appreciate just how wild and over the top it is. So having something like that, but where the Grinch is actually killing people sounds really, really entertaining. So I will definitely be watching that one. And Hank says there's a new Krampus movie this year too. Okay. Sounds like there's a lot coming out. Brandon says, since last stream I watched Disturbing Behavior, Curse, and The Faculty for the first time. Wanted to know your thoughts on those. I haven't seen Cursed, but I have seen Disturbing Behavior and The Faculty. I think I liked The Faculty more than Disturbing Behavior, if we're just talking about both of those. I think that felt a little more horror, but as far as movies from that era, like the 90s, I wouldn't say that they're my favorite, but still like they're pretty interesting kind of like teen horror movies. I think they're both post Scream, I want to say. I could be wrong about that, but they have very Scream like feels to them for sure. But I am due for a rewatch on both of them and a first watch of Cursed. So yeah. Ben says, I'm a big fan of Christmas Evil. Funny note, the lead is Fiona Apple's dad. Oh, really? Is he really? I had no idea. That's so interesting. Yeah, Christmas Evil, I call that the Maniac Christmas movie because it feels a lot like Maniac with Joe Spinell. Just because the lead guy who's playing Santa, he's like so sweaty and like I don't know, he's always like huffing and puffing and groaning and like I don't know, it just feels very similar to Maniac to me. So that's a really good one though. And that's one I might rewatch this year for Christmas. But KJ Horror is saying that the 2019 Black Christmas is really bad, which seems like a very common opinion from what I've heard. Nathan's watching Blood Rage for Thanksgiving, then Christmas, Black Christmas 74 and 06, Gremlins, Christmas Evil, Silent Night, Deadly Night, and the remake Silent Night for Christmas. Very nice. That's a really good list right there. Y'all are planning ahead. I haven't made any lists so far. But I'm going to look and see, watch as many new ones as I can. And I think probably try to revisit at least Black Christmas, the original, and Christmas Evil, because I do really like those. But oh, yes, John Delicious. That's a great idea. Aw, thanks so much, Nathan. Thank you. Always glad to have you. And Philosopher King says Halloween Ends felt like a bait and switch. Yes, totally agree. If they set up where they were going with it from the first film, it would have gone down better. That is right on the money. That is exactly how I felt. I was like, oh my God, this is coming out of nowhere. I feel like we already have these characters that have been established and they just become side characters. Like, why are we doing that? So that's a big gripe that I had. You put it into words very well. So yeah, I think if I go in and watch it knowing what happens and be like, okay, this is just what it is, kind of like view it in this lens and see how you feel about it. Yeah, but I'm gonna need some space from it for a while, I think. Angano says, I've heard Requiem for a Dream is a movie that fucks you up. That's what I've heard too. Yeah, that's one that is maybe borderline like drama and psychological horror, just because I've heard it's so hard to such a hard thing to watch. But and K&J says oh, Friends. Yeah, I guess that's what they promised. I don't know. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're welcome, Prescott. And Lopke says, I'm a huge fan of Zac Efron, so I try to support his projects. He has a new A24 movie coming out about wrestling. No. Did you hear he turned down the role in Barbarian? That went to Justin Long? Really? That would have been very interesting. That would have been a super... Oh, no. The bots. Sorry, guys. Oh, sorry. I'm fine in the chat. But yeah, that would have been really, really interesting to see how it would have played with him instead of Justin Long. Just because obviously I don't think Justin Long is unattractive by any means, but Zac Efron is a very like conventionally attractive man. So seeing how that would play against Long being more comedic, that would have been really interesting. So yeah, but I'll have to look into that wrestling movie too, Loki. And Gano, that's a good movie. The one I was talking about is a shitty slasher movie. And Nathan says Krampus. Forgot to mention that one on the Christmas watch. Yes, that one's definitely entered into the annual Christmas horror movie lists for a lot of people. Loki saw they announced a horror Bambi movie. Is that entering into public domain, kind of like Winnie the Pooh now? I don't know. Don't know how I feel about that. I'm sure it'll be goofy, and I'm thinking probably in the same vein as like Thanksgiving, as far as budget and effects go. But interesting. Prescott loved Terrifier 2. Still have not seen Orphan First Kill. Prescott, I highly recommend watching Orphan First Kill, and definitely still try to avoid spoilers for that. Yeah, don't look into it at all before you watch it, because it's definitely worth the reveal for sure. Excuse me, guys. And Gavin loves The Faculty. Nice. Gano just watched Faculty and Trick or Treat last month. Loved them both. Very nice. Both good October watches for sure. KJ says Christmas Evil is silly and weak to me. Yeah, it's definitely it's no Citizen Kane for sure, but it gives you the Killer Santa. If you like the 80s kind of like grimy feel too, you definitely get that as well. But yes, the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, I think is what it's called. Yeah, that'll be interesting for sure. I wonder how much, besides just the masks that we see. So we've seen images from the movie, like press stuff where you see the bear mask and then Piglet the pig mask. So I wonder, besides that, what else are they going to have from like the Winnie and the Pooh universe, if anything. But yeah, so Gano is watching Planes, Trains, and Automobiles for Thanksgiving. Nice. And Gavin's go-to Christmas movies are Better Watch Out. Hell yeah. Silent Night, Gremlins, and Christmas Vacation for the funnies. Yes, very nice. Yeah, Gremlins, of course, classic Christmas. I love seeing Gizmo in his little Santa hat. He's so cute. And Brandon Summer and Christmas Horrors, Better Watch Out. Have been watching it every year since it came out. Nice. And that now it's going on what, like 6 years, I think. Yeah. Better Watch Out. Yes, everybody's showing love for Better Watch Out. I love it. Halloween became the story of Laurie Strode instead of the story of Michael Myers, like it was originally. Yeah, I don't know. The new trilogy, the whole franchise, I haven't seen it, but yeah, it just kind of it goes off the rails for sure. And Gavin says Black Christmas, of course. Yes. Classic. Parker, for me, Halloween, especially this current trilogy, is more about Michael is being corrupted by evil, and overcoming your trauma. Yeah. Yeah. I guess, like I said, I need to give some more space to it and, just see how I feel about it. In a few months or next year, I'll rewatch it and see how I feel. But and Better Watch Out again is good. Yes. Needs to be a sequel. I think that would be one that could definitely warrant a sequel for sure. I'm kind of surprised, Gavin, that you haven't seen Krampus yet. That seems like one that you would have watched when it came out. But yeah, I think you'd probably like it. The Krampus monster, I think he's really well done. And Hector asked, have I seen Rare Exports, a Finnish movie, horror movie where Americans find the body of the real Santa frozen in ice in Finland? Yes, I have seen that. I think I watched that a couple years ago. I did like a 25 days of Christmas horror and I watched it. I think I remember liking it. It's been a while though. Conjuring 2, Better Watch Out, and Krampus are my go-to horror Christmas films. Very nice, Parker. Gordon Knight, as soon as Justin Long was that character in Zack and Miri Make a Porno, he'll forever be that guy to me. He just has such a specific way about him. I mean, even though he can play pretty different characters, like I would say his character in Barbarian is maybe not wildly different, but it has complexities that some of his other characters don't have. Like, so compare him to like his character in Jeepers Creepers. So yeah, but you just have this idea of what a movie with him in it is like. So having him be in Barbarian was kind of like a, whoa, wait, what's happening now? Like, this is a comedy guy and he's well known for his comedy movies, but he's just plopped into the middle of this horror movie. So I thought that he played his role very well. Nathan says Gavin, the mom from Hereditary, is in. Oh yes, Toni Collette is in Hereditary. Yeah, she's great. And Adam Scott, who I love so much. Yeah, Mika, everybody has really good selections. I love it. Yeah, I've got to get into the Christmas mode after Thursday. I've got to wait until after Thanksgiving. But Loki asks, has anyone seen the Christmas movie Merry Freaking Christmas with Joel McHale and Robin Williams? Oh no, I haven't heard of that one. But I'm sure with those two, it's probably hilarious. And Gnosis Christmas watches for me are, of course, wholesome ones like Christmas Story, Elf, Home Alone, but also Gremlins, Die Hard. Yes, I love Die Hard on Christmas. Lethal Weapon and Black Christmas. Yes, those are excellent choices. John Delicious says, Body is a very underrated Christmas thriller. Oh, Body. I haven't heard of that one either. And Prescott says, speak no evil. Yes, we were talking about that earlier, Prescott. It didn't make my list, but I just watched it today, so I wanted to give a little bit of time to think about it. But yeah, it was brutal. Definitely a slow burn, and one that kind of just like definitely builds the tension throughout, so you have to be patient. But yeah. And Brandon says you should rewatch Disturbing Behavior, second favorite horror movie after The Lost Boys. Wow. Okay. My main takeaway from that is just the main guy who God, you guys, I'm so bad at remembering names today. But like his performance, and then Katie, Tom Cruise's ex-wife, right? She's in that too. Wow, I'm so blanking today. And Gavin says Justin Long has such ridiculous small parts in comedy movies. I love him. Yeah, he'll just pop up and be like, oh, okay. Justin Long's here now. This is fine. And they never have it easy. That's so true. If he's in there, you know he's not going to get out of there alive. So that would kind of be a good red herring to have in. Have Justin Long be in a horror movie, but have him be totally fine, because normally he's not totally fine. And Dee loves Justin Long. Used to watch Accepted all the time as a kid. Yeah. For me, his movie that I would watch all the time was Dodgeball for sure. Watched that so many times. But he's so little in that one. He's so young. A Long Goodnight Kiss is a fun action one you watch for Christmas. Nice. Okay, Mika, thanks. And Loki saw a mystery horror movie, horror Christmas movie at local theater. Inside. Oh, wait, are you talking about the French one? Because that one, I know that takes place on Christmas Eve. So I totally forgot that is a Christmas horror movie for sure. Thank you, Gavin. Katie Holmes. Thank you. Oh my God. I got her first name, but I could not for the life of me remember her last name. Parker says I also like to watch Harry Potter films. Those definitely have some good Christmas vibes to them for sure. Scream films and Batman films are on Christmas. Yeah. Very nice. And Cheers to Fears. Hello. Speaking of Evil is definitely a slow burn, but damn, once it hits hard. Yes, gets super disturbing. And just really uncomfortable throughout. Like it's one of those that you are on edge the whole time because you're just like, ugh. Like it's these little things that kind of just add up and you're like, when is it going to culminate? When is the climax going to happen? So, Batman Returns. Yeah, that's another one I haven't seen, but I've also heard because there's like a lot of snow in that too. Because obviously it's Gotham, so it's basically New York. But yeah, that's one I definitely need to watch for sure. You guys probably know if you've been watching my channel, I'm not like super into superhero movies, so I'm even behind on like the old stuff like Batman Returns. Like I don't even think I've seen the first Batman movie with Michael Keaton in it. So yeah. Oh, Mika says P2. Yes, that's a good one. Very fun. Brandon loves Accepted. Favorite comedy as a kid. I was scared to watch it because the DVD cover says from the creators of American Pie. So I thought I was going to get in trouble. Oh my gosh. The things you worry about as a kid, like my mom and dad are going to see this and then I'm not going to be able to watch it anymore. It's so funny. Prescott, yes, l'intérieur. I'm going to butcher that, of course, but yes, the French title. Yes, low key. The French one, never heard of before. First time in your life watching it. Oh my God. I would kill to watch that in theaters because it is nonstop. Like it just goes and goes and goes and it keeps ramping up and like the gore's wild. It's, oh my gosh, it's so good. If you guys haven't seen Inside, so good. Oh, Spider Babe. I haven't heard of that one either. Yeah, It's kind of a slasher. I mean, you know who the bad guy is. It's not like a surprise or anything, but kind of cat and mouse type of thing for sure. Rambo First Blood is very low-key Christmas movie. Oh, one shot at the office, there's a Christmas decoration. Nice. And that's why when people say that Die Hard's not a Christmas movie, I'm like, oh, there's Christmas stuff all over that movie, y'all. Santa hats and Christmas decorations and everything. Child's Play, the original and 2019 are Christmas films. Oh, is the mom getting Andy the toy for Christmas or his birthday? For some reason, I thought it was his birthday, but I could definitely be wrong about that. Just Friends is a low-key Christmas movie as well. Nice. Silent Night, Deadly Night has one scene with Christmas and nothing to do with the other movies. Yeah, that one. Yeah. All the Silent Night, Deadly Night films, I think that whole franchise is just kind of a mess, but yeah. Prescott liked Smile. Nice. Mika says, yes, slasher elements in P2. Yeah, for sure. Ooh. Oh, 4. Yes, D. That one's the one where it's some sort of like, I don't know, cult or something, or like there's some sort of, I don't know, initiation of some kind. I think that was definitely one of the franchises where you just slap the name on and be like, this has nothing to do with the rest, but we want to keep this franchise name alive, so we're just going to put it on here. So, yeah. And Gavin says, still November, and I'm already tired of hearing Mariah Carey. Oh my gosh, yeah. That's the thing. I feel like we would think in 2022 we would have more variety of Christmas songs, but they still just play like the same 5 songs over and over again. It gets so old so fast. And KJ says Silent Night, Deadly Night is my fave Christmas film. Nice. In November. Okay, for Andy's birthday. Well, then it's a good time to watch it for sure. Hey, Alan, what's up? Recently saw 2 good films, The Uninvited and Truth or Die. Okay. Very nice. And Cheers to Fears. I've heard a lot of people hype up Smile, but personally, I think it fell really flat. I was also not super impressed by it. I think there was just a lot of stuff where I was like, oh, these seem like conventions that we've seen a lot in a lot of other horror movies. And the premise just wasn't as original enough to forgive those kinds of things. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. It just felt a little redundant, but yeah, that's just me. Parker says for Andy's birthday, but there's a lot of snow. That's true. He does get all dressed up in his like snow jacket and his hat and gloves and stuff when he's running around by himself through Chicago, as kids do. Oh, Occult and Clint Howard. Nice. Yeah. That's when you know you've got a real B horror movie on your hands, when you have both Occult and Clint Howard in your movie. Glad that people enjoy Small. Yeah, for sure. And I know a lot of people found it really scary. Like I was listening to the Dead Meat podcast that they did on Smile, and they were saying how they were jumping in their seats in the theater. I didn't watch it in the theater, so I was just kind of like, I was at home and I turned off all the lights and everything. I really tried to set the mood, but I still just was not very scared by it. So yeah, literally nothing to do with anything. Yeah, for Silent Night. Hank says Toy Story Andy got it for his birthday, but at the end, oh, it's Christmas. That's true. Yes. It's about toys. Toys are a big part of Christmas. Yeah, that's true. And he gets a puppy in that scene. Mariah's song is like the only truly iconic modern Christmas song. That's true. Yeah, it is undeniable. And it's very catchy. I do like it as a song, but when you hear it a million times in a row, it gets very annoying. Prescott is the Grinch. Yeah, I think this year me and my husband are gonna do no gifts, like for not just between the both of us, like no gifts in general. We just want to kind of like take a year off, just spend time with family instead of focusing on buying stuff. So yeah, which sounds a little Grinch-like, but really we're trying to get more into the actual spirit of the holiday, I guess, but we'll see how it goes. And Gavin says I need some goth Christmas albums. Where is Bauhaus? Right? Why haven't they put out a Christmas album? That's kind of a travesty. I'm sure that you could probably find some if you dug, but it seems pretty niche, so I don't know. And John Delicious says my cinema experience for Smile is very funny. People screaming and jumping all over the place. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of jump scares for sure. KJ says don't open till Christmas. Features Santa being killed off for a reversal of fate. Ooh, okay. That sounds interesting. And Parker says Smile was okay, similar to Truth or Dare. The Ring, it follows. Yeah. Didn't like the ending, especially the message it sends for people dealing with depression and trauma. Yeah, it's a little hard, a little murky with the messaging, and it's, you know, it's hard to get into without spoiling anything, but yeah. Yeah, just was okay. Oh, yeah, Evanescence Christmas album. I would love that. That sounds amazing. And Loki says Charles Xavier was killed on November 9th, according to his tombstone in Bride of Chucky. Ooh. The date was the actual release date of the first movie. That's so cool. I love that they added that little detail in. Very nice. Okay, y'all, I think we are going to cut it off here. We're a little over 2 hours. But I just want to say thank you, of course, for joining. If you did, if you let me know your list, thank you so much. If you just came to watch, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Oh, Gavin says the singer Bauhaus got arrested for drugs, so the album will have to wait. Oh no. Maybe we can ask The Cure. I would love a Cure Christmas album. That sounds like it would be like really soothing almost in a weird way. But oh yeah, look, yeah, I love it. I love the fun facts. And a new Jack Frost just hit the stores. Oh, really? Oh. Loki just bought the Backstreet Boys Christmas CD, not gonna lie, but it's awesome. I actually don't know. Oh, it must be new then. I love the old NSYNC Christmas album. That's maybe my favorite complete Christmas album. Not just like individual songs, but yeah, I'll have to check that out because I do love me some Backstreet Boys for sure. Oh, thanks, Dee. Thank you so much. Thanks, Gavin. Thank you. Yes. The cures. I'm trying to say that. Cure and Christmas album. Yes. We love it. We want it. Okay. But yes, thank you guys so much again. I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving week, whatever you do. If you celebrate, if you don't celebrate, I know it's kind of a fraught holiday. But either way, I'm thankful for you guys. Thankful for your support and everything, and just hanging out and talking about horror, and it's always fun. But yeah, bye, John Delicious. Thank you. Yes, it was so fun hearing everybody's top 10. Thanks, Prescott. You too. Loki. Yes, happy Thanksgiving. Oh, thanks, John Delicious. So nice. Yes, good night and happy Thanksgiving, Parker. Please watch my scary Christmas vid. Okay, yes, I'll have to check that out. Thank you. Have a good one, Brandon. Have a good night. Looking forward to your next stream. Oh, thank you. Yes, and I will definitely give it a rewatch. I promise. Thank you, Gordonite. Thanks so much. Thank you for joining. Always good to have you in the chat. Gano, yes, thanks for tuning in. Good Thanksgiving. See you next live. Yes, love to see you. Mika, thank you. Thanks again, Mika, for all those good recs. I'm gonna totally watch a lot of those movies for sure. But yeah, okay, guys, I'm gonna head out and I will see you next time. Bye.